And it's time once again for Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Sean Robertson of Gateville Law Firm. They're in Yorkville and online at gatevillelawfirm.com. And Sean is here with us in studio for today's show. How are we doing, Sean?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, Mike?
Doing pretty good. We've got trust funding, real estate, and retirement accounts, and why that all matters in long-term care planning. So what's the main focus on today's show?
The main focus is it's important to have a coordinated plan, Mike, because a lot of people where estate plans fail is they fail by the lack of details and thinking about real-life barriers that occur. And a lot of times what we see is somebody comes in, maybe they have a signed will or trust, and they think they're protected, and they find out, unfortunately, when a family tragedy occurs, an incapacity or death, the plan didn't work the way it was designed. That's where we come in, kind of help people coordinate the plans and really look at the details.
All right, so we should probably do a quick definition of trust funding, what that all means, and how it connects to long-term care.
Oh, that's a great idea. So trust funding essentially means just making sure assets are titled correct, meaning the house is named in the trust, whether somebody has a LLC, that the LLC is the trust owns the LLC. And so essentially what trust funding is making sure that the coordination of the trust when somebody dies or it's needed is actually in place. That's essentially what it means. So a trust, Mike, is kind of like a legal container. If assets are never placed in that container or properly connected to it, that trust won't control how those assets get distributed when it's needed.
And then it connects to long-term care in an important way because it's going to expose some weaknesses in this plan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Where long-term care comes in, a lot of people have retirement accounts that most attorneys don't typically put those in trust, which I think can be a mistake depending on somebody's health and age. Nursing home issues, memory care, home care issues take into effect. So what we're doing is counseling people, Mike, on how do we, if something happens to one spouse, how do we protect the surviving spouse where they're not going to have to deal with Medicare or Medicaid or reduce the likelihood, and they're going to be secure. Because a lot of people are like, okay, I don't care what happens when so-and-so when I die, but they do care when they live, and it impacts their living.
All right, so let's move to retirement accounts. How does that factor in and become a part of all of this?
Oh, yeah, that's a good... So retirement accounts, Mike, are probably the most neglected assets in estate planning. IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, and similar accounts that pass by beneficiary designation. So they don't necessarily follow the trust, so they go outright. And the problem is if an asset goes outright to somebody and they have a long-term care problem, there's no protection from the long-term care problem or dementia problems or tax problems, where what we do is we help people basically set up a container where if something goes in the container, which is called another trust, it's protected from long-term care, it's protected from divorce, it's protected from financial exploitation. So that's basically kind of what we help people do, Mike.
All right, so how does Gateville Law Firm approach these situations and make sure that people are, doing the right thing?
Yeah, so traditional estate planning, it often stops at the signing meeting. The client leaves with a nice binder, a checklist, and good intentions. But what we do, Mike, is we'll go to the bank with the clients. We'll make sure that the real estate deeds got titled into the trust name. We'll make sure that the retirement accounts that we change the beneficiaries to a trust if that's what we're going to do. And we help them with beneficiary forms. We'll talk to their financial advisor. We'll talk to their insurance people. So basically, we kind of help clients implement this because what we find is very few people understand what's going on and they're kind of overwhelmed with the process.
That's for sure. A lot of technical things here and legal things, and Sean and his team there to solve all the problems for you. Contact them at 630-780-1034. They're online at gatevillelawfirm.com and close by in Yorkville. It's Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Sean Robertson and his team at Gateville Law Firm. We'll see you next time.